Hi friends. We're looking into LYS Beauty, Love Yourself Beauty, this new black owned and clean beauty brand. You know how I feel about clean beauty, but we'll get into those details in a second. However, this is very exciting as this is the first black owned clean beauty brand that will be featured in Sephora. And of course, on their launch day, which was February 14th on Valentine's Day. How appropriate. We'll get into what I purchased, swatches, demos, and my thoughts. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you're returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, so you can head over to my Instagram. This is the first time I am reviewing LYS Beauty, so I decided to go, as you know, to my notes. As I said, LYS Beauty dropped on the 14th on lysbeauty.com and Sephora on the 19th. Exclusively sold at Sephora at the meantime. Don't know if it will be available in other retailers. I'm sure, however, those are in the plans. Who is the owner of LYS? Well, Tisha Thompson, founder of LYS Beauty from MadameNoire.com. She saw an important need missing in makeup and decided to fill it. Clean beauty marketed towards black women. These particular circumstances are special because this is a black-owned clean beauty brand to be sold at Sephora. I'm fully aware that there might be other clean brands out there that are black owned, like Laws of Nature and Range Beauty. I think this is big because it will be sold at a huge retailer like Sephora, and Sephora is one of the first ones, I think the first one, to partake in the 15% pledge, where major companies dedicate 15% of their shelf space to black owned brands, and that was started by Aurora James back in June of 2020. You can actually find out more about Tisha on the LYS Beauty blog, which not only has her bio, but they also have product spotlights, what clean beauty is to them. To focus more on Tisha, however, it says here that she did work as a MAC artist, but where her skill set really shines is when she worked corporate at Pure, and that she was involved in product development and marketing. That's a nice little portfolio there, Tisha. And it says here on Birdie, when she began fleshing out her plans for LYS Beauty, Thompson knew that she wanted to create a brand that shatters the myth that clean beauty, deep shade ranges, and high performance products can't coexist. So this I consider to be LYS's holy trinity mission in what they wanted to achieve with the brand. She felt that in the clean beauty space that not only her shade but several others were not represented well in terms of not only the shade but the undertones that were available. And it's also about accessibility, so not only do you have the shade ranges available in this line, but all the products are priced under $30, which makes it phenomenal for anyone who has a specific budget, could not buy into the clean beauty products because they were way out of budget. Now LYS Beauty delivers this opportunity for the consumer to experience clean beauty but at a fair price point. And the company's initiative is #ConfidenceCrew, and you can basically see when we go over the shades why they're named the way they are, because I think it all encompasses that mission to be confident in yourself, in your skin. And although this is makeup, we're looking to not cover our skin but to enhance it and love the skin that we're in. That's why LYS stands for Love Yourself Beauty. I'm thrilled that Tisha decided to go the clean beauty route because I understand, despite how I feel about clean beauty and its marketing claims and all of that, I understand there is still a huge place for it in the market. People are still looking out for it. They prefer it. They feel safer with clean beauty. In a nutshell, I don't have a problem with parabens and the other vilified ingredients that are on like the toxic ingredient lists, but I applaud anyone who creates their own brand and who feels strongly about its mission and ensuring that the products that are developed and sold strongly align with their philosophy. Another important goal of LYS Beauty is that skincare is first, and therefore Tisha made sure that the makeup was infused with good for you skincare ingredients. I rely heavily on my own skincare regimen to make sure that my skin is well nourished and taken care of. I do respect that brand owners are infusing skincare into their makeup. I know we're moving into that direction because people like to feel that Their cream blush is going to be moisturizing. It's going to combat oiliness and hyperpigmentation. Ultimately, again, I would rely on my skincare products that are specifically formulated for those skin conditions to combat them in a way that is highly effective. But it's not about me. If you love to have skincare in your makeup, well, this is a brand that does it, okay? Now, I ordered my stuff on Valentine's Day, and this is the box that it came in. I absolutely love how the brand is consistent from all the way to the box it's packaged in to how the boxes look inside. I think that makes me excited as a consumer. It makes me excited to receive this package, and that's why I would highly recommend that you order it from LYS Beauty because of the box. And I know I've said this before, I'm silly for keeping boxes, but it's just nice to receive an item such as this in the mail. Of course, if you order from Sephora, it'll just be in the Sephora box. I'm not saying it's bad, but just to kind of a little spice in your FedEx delivery, okay? I bought 1 foundation, 3 bronzers, 3 cream blushes, and 1 pressed powder. In all, however, LYS Beauty dropped with 6 products, a gripping serum that I chose not to get because, again, I rely on my skincare for priming, a lip oil, which I wanted to buy, but at the time when I was buying the items that I did, the lip oil was not available on the site. I think because it dropped early and some of the items were late in becoming live, but it's fine. I'll get it eventually. The Triple Fix Serum Foundation, the No Limits Matte Bronzer, Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush, and the Setting Powder. Oh, of course, the brushes that I did not get because, I'm already Fude crazy, so. But they look great. They really look nice. So why don't we get into these product details and demo, starting off with what Tisha considers to be the hero product of LYS Beauty, the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. This retails for $22. It comes in 35 shades and the coverage is light to medium. All products in the line are cruelty-free and vegan. We're looking at a suggested shelf life of 9 months. That is under the standard of foundation shelf longevity, so make sure you use it, okay? You don't want it to go back. And the foundation is made in Canada, and you get 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters of product. Now, some ingredient shout outs here. We have the ashwagandha, Indian ginseng, hyaluronic acid, turmeric, and avocado oil. We take a look at the ingredient deck here. We have water, the cocoa caprylate, glycerin. Avocado oil is I can't count. 4th on the list, and the ashwagandha does not happen until, way down. And of course, turmeric is above that, but still way past the 5 ingredient mark. So I like how the avocado oil is way higher, but the other extracts, don't know if they would provide any significant impact on the skin. It's great to know that they're in here. But again, I bought the shade TN3 Oak, and that is tan skin with neutral undertones. They also have a shade finder on the site if you find that you need a little more assistance with that. I pretty much really like the shade I picked, and I'm so happy to say that this foundation is fragrance free, baby. I applied this foundation yesterday and I immediately thought of the Shiseido Radiant Lifting. It has a similar type of, I said paint with the Shiseido, but it has like a really nice grip to the skin, and the light medium coverage claims I think are accurate. I only applied 1 pump, which for me is sufficient. Even though I have PIH, I just kind of let it show through, and I go back here with a little bit more from that first pump to apply on the spots that I thought needed more. I know this has only been day 2, so I still consider this a first impression. I think the fact that it's called a serum foundation is also accurate. It has a natural dry down. I think it leans a little more. One of you had thought natural and satin are the same. I think so too. Perhaps natural is more so what your current skin condition is, and satin will always have a little more radiance, perhaps. Is that difference? I've had this on for, let me see, I applied this at 9:45. We're 3.5 hours in, and although I did apply the pressed powder, I do think it's more on the luminous side. but I like that it doesn't feel greasy. It still feels like my skin. I did not powder the cream blush on purpose because I just wanted to have it wear as is without any influence of powder. But this is how it's looking. I mean, my skin looks glassy. Again, really happy with the undertone. I appreciate that it's neutral, but it's not dull. It doesn't have like too much of a gray or just like a flat tone to it. Although neutral, it still gives my complexion some life, some flush. And that's something Tisha heavily emphasized. She's very passionate about skin shades and skin undertones, and she felt that the undertones were lacking in a lot of clean beauty lines. So I think you'll be successful in finding one that works for you. Let me know if you've already tried this foundation, but right now, I really like it. I have to wear this under a mask to get a better idea, again, of its wear time. But for now, though, the application, the shade match, the texture, how it dries down, and the coverage, I really like across the board. Up next is the Triple Fix Translucent Press Setting Powder. This powder retails for $18 and it comes in 4 different shades. We have dark deep, medium tan, banana, and translucent. This has a suggested shelf life of 24 months, weighs in at 0.23 ounces or 6.5 grams of product, and it is made in Taiwan. One of my favorite components that I have ever encountered from a brand, and that's why I wore my triangles today, friends. We're looking at a rose gold mirrored finish with the compact. Although plastic and lightweight, I still don't think it feels cheap. I think it very reasonable in terms of how it looks given the price. You get 6.5 grams of product, not bad at all. And it is a magnetic closure, so really sleek, really nice to hold. Triangles are nice to hold. And it's slightly grooved here on the sides, which makes it very easy to open. You know I like that. I decided to get the translucent shade named Resilience, and as I mentioned before, the names that we'll encounter for many of these products again allude to the company's initiative of Confidence Crew. We have loyalty, we have ambition, we have brilliance. So again, these names illustrate the desire to just rise higher. I decided to get Resilience because Tisha had said that this was a universal shade. It shows up here in the swatch because I wanted to make sure that I showed you what the swatch actually looked like. For a pressed powder, I think this to be very lightweight. And some ingredient callouts, we have the niacinamide, the green tea extract, the sodium hyaluronate. This is talc free. First ingredient, synthetic mica, rice starch, magnesium stearate. The niacinamide is way down on the list, as well as the green tea. I have niacinamide in my Essence as well as my Good Molecules toner, so I'm getting the niacinamide in my skin, right? Although the star ingredients I feel might not have a huge impact in the powder texture itself is very nice. I applied it here under my eyes on top of my Shiseido Gel Stick Concealer because LYS Beauty doesn't have concealer yet, but just to show what the powder does, this is how it looks lightly dust on. And I do like how the concealer still looked smooth. It didn't make my under eyes look dry and heavy. And here I applied it with my Yano Series 01 powder brush. This powder is very lightweight. I would say maybe because the foundation has more of like that natural finish, that if you are more on the oily part of the spectrum, you might have to rely on more powder. I use a squirrel brush, and squirrel does not pick up as much as goat hair, so perhaps you will need a brush that's going to pick up more product to ensure that you get the powdering level that you're looking to achieve here with your makeup. All in all though, I really enjoy the texture of this powder. It's lightweight, it feels soft on the skin, and it doesn't again make the skin appear dry or heavy. It doesn't look cakey on the skin, and it literally melts into the foundation. I mean, the powder is basically undetectable when you apply it in this case with a brush, I'm sure if you applied it with a sponge, it will be also undetectable. So I enjoy its lightweight texture and how it just delivers that veil of powder, again, without looking dry on the skin. Up next, one of my favorites, because you know I love my bronzer. I decided to get 3 bronzers, fam, because you know how I am. With my skin tone being like here between medium and tan, I wanted to get all 3 because in case you were my skin tone and you were wondering about which one to get, you know what, I took one for the team. The No Limits Matte Bronzer retails for $18 and it comes in 6 shades. Suggested shelf life of 24 months, 0.23 ounces of product or 6.5 grams. Also made in Taiwan. Again, some ingredient call out, same as the pressed powder. It seems green tea extract, sodium hyaluronate, niacinamide. And we look at the ingredient deck. The same thing occurs here. The star ingredients are further down on the ingredient list, so don't know how much of an impact it will have. But what I do admire, however, is the bronzer's texture. Now, first up, we have Light. Light is the lightest shade available in this bronzer. If you are fair, this might be a little too warm for you. Light is named Motivate. It doesn't have a shade description, but this one leans a little more beige neutral, as you will see here from the swatch, and I love how it looks on my skin. It's definitely more of a gentle dose of bronze on my complexion, one that I can feel safe to layer and to be a little more aggressive with in terms of the application. It applies smoothly on the skin, pretty effortless, I would say. And here's a close-up of how the skin looks, and keep in mind I apply this over the Resilience translucent powder, so I had a nice base to work with. And I would highly recommend, if you find that you have better success in applying bronzer on top of powdered skin instead of unset skin, then you would go that same route. Again though, the translucent powder is not like, for instance, like my Suku Sheer Loose powder. Like when I apply that powder, it doesn't make me look dry, but it does have more of a setting power over the Resilience one. Up next, I went in with Harmony, and this is the medium shade. Tisha had also demoed this on one of her IG vids, and she categorized Harmony to be more of a yellow undertone, which I completely agree with. Dare I say, this reminds me of the Hula Benefit bronzer, which we could take a look at later in a comparison swatch, except I far more enjoy this compact better than that awful box one. I like this too. Also, if you wanted more of a yellow tone bronzer, which I think sometimes is hard to achieve in bronzers, you either get neutral or you get super warm or red. I think Harmony is a great tone, definitely overall golden, but you can see more of like that yellow hue when I apply it here on this side of my face. And lastly, we have Tan, which is named Courage. This is more of a neutral tone bronzer, but definitely a lot more deep than the ones I previously applied. Now, I wanted to keep the makeup on for a little bit, so that's why I didn't start from scratch here, but I applied it over the light bronzer again in Motivate. And I did so with a squirrel brush because I knew if I picked up a goat hair brush or even a fox hair brush, I would get way too much product on, because when I applied this last night just to kind of get a feel of the products, it's very pigmented, but it blends out well. I would just be careful with how much I apply. I would start really light, and if you wanted to get to, and you're my complexion, sure, you can get the tan just to add a little more sculpt to the complexion if you wanted to layer your bronzers. And lastly, we have the higher standard Satin Matte Cream Blush. This retails for $16 and it comes in 6 shades. My apologies, the bronzer came in 5. I can't count. I'm sure I corrected myself by now. And the cream blush compacts are distinguishable by their more brush matte design, so they're still in the triangle compact, but the bronzer as well as the pressed powder comes in the mirrored finish, and you have the cream blush that comes in the brushed finish. Again, same great construction, magnetic still, with the grooves on the side for easy opening and closing. We have a suggested shelf life of 18 months, 0.23 ounces or 6.5 grams, and also made in Taiwan. And ingredient call outs here: kaolin clay, avocado oil, vitamin E. What do we got here on the ingredient deck? Well, kaolin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the list. Avocado oil much lower, and vitamin E somewhere in there. Again, great texture to the blush, but it's okay if the kaolin ain't gonna do its job like it does usually in like a facial mask. The first shade I swatch here is Confident, and this is described to be as a pink cinnamon spice. When I saw Tisha apply this, I was like, yeah, anything cinnamon spice and pink is like what I need, okay? I applied it here with my fingers, and although emollient in feel, is very pigmented and it blends out beautifully. It's pretty effortless in its application. Despite its high color payoff and its emolliency, even though it might initially feel it's just going to disappear and you have to keep adding on again because of like that glide it has on the fingers upon applying it on your cheeks, it has really nice staying power and it has beautiful color. If I would suggest one shade if you're around my skin complexion, this is the one. It's just a great everyday color. It reminds me of the Rare Beauty Vulnerable Cream Blush in Nearly Neutral. All those like neutral pink shades, a little bit of cinnamon spice. Just one of my favorite blush shades in general. And next up we have Self Love. This is described to be a rosy mauve, and I definitely detect more pink here, maybe from like that rosy hue. I apply it on this side on top of the medium shade from the bronze line, and this is a great shade too. I mean, I pretty much consider this to be in the same category as Confident, more of a neutral pink hue. But as I said in my Westman Atelier video, I always have to go for the rosy mauve anything. Like rose shade anything in the blush category of things is a must for me. That's it. And lastly, we have Inspire, which is described to be a baked coral terracotta. This shade, if you want to talk about summer glow, summer flush, this is it. I applied it on top of Self Love because again, I didn't want to take off my makeup. I wanted to see how it would wear. I just dabbed on a little bit of the leftover foundation from my brush on top of my cheeks, but Inspire is a beautiful shade. I still have it here on my cheeks, and the tone of it is absolutely perfect. The color is so well balanced. I detect the coral, but it still has an earthiness about it, and I think that's where the terracotta comes in. The color profile of it, like Inspire, is I don't have all of them. I'm this close to buying the rest. Like, I want to check out Kindness, the soft peachy nude, but the ones I purchased, I really enjoy, and I really, again, how they look on the skin. And there is a beautiful sophistication to these shades. I think they are just so well thought out, like cinnamon pink, coral terracotta. I love it all. This is the summer cream blush right here. Like this is it. This is it. But if you wanted to come in a little closer, that's enough. I can quickly go with my Refer 24 brush, because again, you could use a brush or a sponge or a finger application. I wanted to apply more Confident, so I'm going in straight from the pan to the brush, tapping off some excess because again, it picks up quite a bit. And the mirror, although it's not super big, I know it might not be the most practical, still happy it's in there. You never know. But look at I prefer to apply cream blush with a brush because I think it's just an easier spread. It's just foolproof in application. But this color is just so beautifully effortless. Put it on there, you forget about it. You have the flush cheeks, you're done. You could also place it on the top around the temple. I love doing this as well, just putting blush, all over. Just put it all over, okay? I'm taking my Westman Atelier brush that was super expensive, so I'm using it. I'm placing Confident on my lids, and not too bad for a cream product. You know what I'm saying? Still has great color, but again, the texture just makes it so easy to blend. It doesn't blend away into nothingness. Like, you still see the product there on your cheeks. It's just so gorgeous. Look at that. Not bad at all. And I also can take Self Love, which is the rose, on the lips. I know I don't have the lip oil. I'm like kicking myself not having it for this video, but I can only imagine if you apply the lip oil and then this or any of the cream blushes on top. Yes. And if you wanted to see Inspire, just quickly, I'll apply a little more on this side, wiping my rougher brush, taking a little bit. It's a hard toss-up because I love the bronzer as well, but these cream blushes, and it's an interesting name, Satin Matte. Says here, an everyday satin matte cream blush that delivers high payoff that caters to all skin tones and makeup looks, whether glam or natural. I think it's definitely not a flat matte. It does not dry down to a powdery finish like the Natasha Denona cream blush does, but nor does it just disappear, and it's not as emollient either. Like, this has more pigment than the Fenty cream blushes. It does. It definitely has more impact, and you get more bang for your buck. You don't get as nearly as much product in the Fenty cream blush compact as you do in these compacts. Eventually though, I am planning on a cream blush video because I bought the Tower 28 cream blushes too, so we gotta take a look at those. And to quickly show you the translucent pressed powder, if you still want it just a little less shine, this powder does not dull the skin. Although it takes away the shine, it still allows the skin to show through. It's still luminous in finish. It's not dull at all. So that will ensure that the cream blush has a little more staying power. If you want it, this is what Tisha likes to do also. Apply your powder first and then your foundation after. Or if you're not wearing foundation that day, powder a little bit around the cheeks and then apply your cream blush afterwards. And here's the finished look, fam, with everything that I applied today from LYS Beauty. I have to say, again, I'm still in the first impression stages, but I am very, very happy with everything I purchased. I'm very happy with my foundation match. And although I did not need all three matte bronzers, I'm thrilled that I have all three because all of them serve a different purpose. They're all different undertones. They were really smooth in application, and I can't wait to just use them more, combine them differently, and just get a better feel of their shade profiles. I have to say though, as much as I adore the foundation and the bronzer, the cream blush for me right now is what I'm most impressed with. Again, the fact that it's so emollient and easy to blend, but it doesn't just disappear on the skin. The color payoff remains on your cheeks, but again, the shades are just so well done that even a lot of blush still looks really good. Like, I don't know how she did it. And Inspire, Confident, and Self Love, the 3 shades that I got, there are 6 shades in all, I'm very, very happy with. So if you're wondering which shades to get and you wanted something more every day, I would get Confident. I would. And I'll let you know if I get the rest. I'm leaning towards that, but I'm trying to be good. I wanted to finish the video because I have a class to teach, but hang on tight. I wanted to get through some comparison swatches if you were thinking about other foundations, if you needed a better idea of which shades to grab. Hopefully the sun will still be out by the time I'm done, so hang tight and I'll see you then. Oh, do I love 3 o'clock afternoon light. Back from teaching class, I'm so sorry you had to wait. Rolling into some comparisons, now I immediately thought of my beloved Charlotte Tilbury Darling airbrush bronzer, but I also wanted to bring in some Vesca. I haven't reviewed this on my channel yet because I ordered it and I forgot about it. And of course I wanted to do another bronzer roundup video because I feel like, you know, is in due time. But the standout comparison I wanted to start off with first was Benefit's Hula Caramel, which got a little hard pan on me, excuse me. Next to LYS's medium, but let me first start off with light, medium, and tan. I'll apply those on the arm first. So we have light, medium, and tan. You can detect medium has a distinctly more golden hue to it, and tan a lot more neutral, and light right in the middle. I really enjoy the undertone of light. I think it's still more neutral, but it has like a pinkiness to it that's still not cool. Would I maybe like more beige? Let's get into the Hula Caramel, which is so hard to swatch because of this silly box, but I'm getting in as much as I can. Let's see here. Yes, just as predicted. You could detect, dare I say, more of like a yellowness to Hula Caramel as opposed to the medium shade from LYS. And of course, Mented, another black owned brand that I love. This is Beach Bum. And I think Beach Bum definitely has a similar tone to it. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's like, dare I say, more orange leaning than either Hula or medium. Going into now Charlotte's shade in medium. I think this is going to be the lightest for sure. This definitely matches up more to, I believe, Motivate is the light name shade from LYS. I have to build this up a little bit on me. It's definitely a lot softer, but if you already have the Charlotte in medium and it's pigmented, then the light will definitely be a lot more so. And of course, going in with tan. Let's see what this matches up with. Tan, I think, is closely related to Harmony. We haven't found one that's, is it Courage? Yes. Vacay from Mented might have a Courage moment. I think it's more red. Yes. You could detect there's more red. I'll swatch it again just so you can see better. In Vacay versus Courage from LYS. LYS definitely a lot more neutral in tone. And now with Vesca, I have two here. The first one is Santorini. The reason I don't wear these very often is because they smell like coconut or something buttery. Yeah. Let's see, Santorini, I have a feeling is gonna be, yes, like light, close to the medium shade from Charlotte, a little more brown leaning. And next up we have Diani from Vesca. So a little more depth, dare I say, bring a little more red. Yes, a little more, but still neutral. Maybe not as red as I had anticipated, just based on how it looks in the pan. And not as pigmented on the first swatch either. So Vesca for me, if you think bronzer is a little intimidating for you, you could definitely layer those up. And the last two I wanted to show was the MAC Radiant Matte Bronzing Powder. This is in Beijing Beauty. This shade is just, dare I say, I think it's going to be, yeah, it doesn't have as much golden as light does. Is kind of close to medium, but it has a little more like neutral brown to it. And last but not least, we gotta go in with Totally Taupeless. This is more like a ruddy shade. Yeah, for sure. That matches up with maybe Harmony. That's like a shade all on its own. I don't think there's anything on this arm that remotely matches up with Totally Taupeless. Now for some foundation, I wanted to quickly swatch TN3 again, Oak. So funny because I am Oak in Shiseido's self-refreshing line. I'm gonna take you over here because I feel we're gonna need a lot of space. And here's the Radiant Lifting from Shiseido in Maple. This I think is said to have like a balanced undertone, but you see that there's a little more depth of color here from the LYS Beauty. This is more, dare I say, like, is more maybe yellow, maybe more golden. Here is Oak from Shiseido's Self-Refreshing. Definitely lighter, is, I think, dare I say, just, yes, more neutral, but just a lighter shade altogether. And of course, let's dive into the Suku Cream Foundation, which still remains one of my all time favorites. This is number 35. The lightest out of all of them, but look how much more yellow that looks. And here is 40 from Suku's Cream Foundation. Definitely a little more golden. That looks like it has so much more pink in it, but it works out just fine. You know what? It's a mystery. And then of course the latest from Westman Atelier, their Vital Skin Foundation in number 9, which as predicted kind of reminded me of the Triple Fix Serum Foundation from LYS. The tone definitely was like, Now from the new Tower 28 offering, I feel like Power Hour looks similar to Confidence. I can't wait to try this blush. Look at it, fam. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna use the back of my hand, which ideally I don't like to because it's so veiny, but that's the color of the Tower 28. And I wanted to swatch it next to Confident, which is the cinnamon pink shade. So here is Confident from LYS. Oh, Confident has a little more pink to it. Self Love is the rosy mauve shade from LYS. See how that looks. Yeah, I could detect more rose from that for sure. The only shade, and I also observed this when I was comparing some of the Cheeks Out cream blush shades from Fenty to the ones, I think it was Westman Atelier, that Fenty doesn't have like an exclusively rosy mauve except for Rose Latte. I think all the other ones are like either pink, long arm, either pink or coral or red or orange. That looks close to Power Hour, but definitely not very close to Confident and Self Love. And why not Westman Atelier's Baby Blush Stick in Doodoo? This is their rose. Let me just do it right here on my nub. Still, this is such a beautiful color, but compared to, well, close to Self Love, but dare I say, does it look like have a little more plump to it, just a little bit. Still a beautiful color. I still love Confident, but I think this is like my blush wheelhouse of preferred shades. And last but not least, let's go in with the Rare Beauty. This is in Nearly Neutral, which is so lightweight. I mean, it's kind of insane compared to what I just swatched. The texture is so like barely air. Kind of looks like a shadow of Confident. If Confident had like a beginner stage blush, it will be Nearly Neutral from Rare Beauty. I'm gonna apply some Inspire on my lips. Oh, that's a nice flush. Now I did powder on the last demo I did before I cut out to class. It is now 3:41, so we're looking at 6 hours of wear, which isn't bad. I know I could wear my foundation for a lot longer, but just so you could take even a closer look, this is how it looks powdered during the middle of the day. I think my skin looks great, and keep in mind, I have 2 bronzers on, 2 applications of cream blush. Also in between, I applied the Resilience Translucent Press Powder. So these products are optimally formulated to layer on each other. And I think that's what Tisha had in mind. Also, no matter how you apply these products, you'll be successful in layering them so that no texture can be detected. The skin will remain looking smooth, and it will still look fresh-faced and barely their makeup. And I think those were her intentions in creating a line that was clean beauty, accessible, easy to use, and to leave you feeling, more importantly than looking, beautiful. And again, from applying these products in the morning and playing with them throughout the day, I think this is a solid line. I think this is a great first launch. Amazing that LYS Beauty came up with 35 shades that are flexible, as also stated in their product description. Because it's light to medium coverage, there's a nice portion of the skin tone spectrum, if you're around me, that depending on your skin tone, you could get away with the tan shade, or maybe the more medium shade, or the deep shade, or the deep dark shade. So because of that, I think the shades are forgiving, but they're well formulated to keep these different undertones in mind. The bronzers, I think, are super, as you see, just beautifully pigmented, but I really like the tones as well. I think LYS hit beautiful undertones for the bronzer shades, and a little goes a long way, so I would use maybe a lighter brush to apply these bronzers unless you want that impact. For sure, you can go there if you like. The Resilience pressed powder, I actually really like. I'll use it more often. It's been a while since I've used pressed powder under my eyes or all over my face. I've been using my Suku sheer loose powder, but I do appreciate the texture of the pressed powder. It's very lightweight. It does remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury, but I think the Charlotte is a little more finely milled than this one. Charlotte is just so undetectable, and I think that's why it still remains a standout favorite amongst many makeup users, both enthusiasts, beginner, and pros alike. And then we go into the Satin Matte, my favorite name, Satin Matte Cream Blush. My favorite product, I think, from this line. I love the foundation, like I said, but the tones of the blushes I really love. The fact that they have beautifully high color payoff, but are so easy to blend with whatever tool you choose to use to blend them out with. A brush, I really use a sponge, but brush like you saw, fingers like you saw. I want to see the highlighters. I know you're waiting for the highlighters. I wonder if Tisha would do pressed cream highlighters. I like powder highlighters, but from using the Westman Atelier now with their creamy highlighters, I've been digging that whole thing. You know, I love my eyeshadows, but I'm just so impressed by the complexion and cheek products thus far that I want to see an expansion on that. I don't know if LYS would consider bringing out powder blushes since they already have the cream. I would wait on that. I definitely want to see the highlighters. I still want to see some eyeshadow because I'm just that way. Mascara, sure. Maybe some more shades in the lip oils, which I still need to grab. Overall though, from receiving the package to trying these products, I'm a very happy customer. I am so happy I bought from the site. I was pleased to open the box and see everything just beautifully packaged and organized, and it was a joy to use. I love these compacts. I think the components are just so beautifully designed. It makes you want to use the makeup. It makes you excited. I think the formulas are solid. Yes, I'm happy that, you know, they wanted to go clean beauty because I understand it's still a growing market. It's what's popular right now. Do I buy the makeup because of the clean beauty claims? No, I know where I stand on that, and I know you guys know, and it's fine. I'm just more concerned with how the formula works, how it feels on my skin, how it makes my skin look, the longevity, the color profiles. All those are check marks for me. So we'll definitely check in with you again as I play with all this new makeup that I purchased. Definitely at the end of the month, because this, you know, I think it's gonna be a fave. Definitely one of the faves. But until then, fam, let me know if you have purchased anything from LYS Beauty, what you like from it, what you don't like from it, your observations. I will see you down in the comments. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, bronzer extravaganza, monthly favorites, or vlog. It's coming. Take care, and I will see you again soon.